from the VMAs.
Elevator one?
And the amount, I can't count, it's in the hundreds now, like, there's videos of us interacting, like, cartoons, and guys, these take hours to make. People are dedicating, hundreds, thousands of people are dedicating hours, precious hours in their day to create art of us, and I think that truly goes to show how incredible this film is, because I think true art inspires other people to act and move, and they are acting and they are moving quickly, rapidly, like wildfire. So thank you, Hunters. Maggie. Good call!
Douglas Carey, covering North Carolina, asks, how do you feel about the fact that audiences aren't just finding something that resonates within them via the narrative, songs, and animation style, but that it's also creating an opportunity to advance understanding of Korean culture? Audrey.
She answers this great.
I felt it coming from all the way over here. I was like, it's Audrey.
Yeah, it means a lot. We talk about this all the time, but I think this is a film that, you know, the 7-year-old versions of ourselves so desperately wanted and needed without even knowing that we wanted and needed it. So, you know, I think there's so many incredible layers to this film, and the reason why it's not just resonating with kids, you know, it's resonating with, I mean, there was literally grandmas and grandpas pulling up solo to the CD signing, you know, so I think there's a reason that this film quite literally speaks to everyone. I think for sure representation, like just the characters are just so complex and so human. The story is so human, and to be able to see such a human story in the lens of your own culture too is just another level of just gratitude, you know, gratitude for Maggie, for Chris, for the creators of this film who, and honestly what's beautiful about it is it comes from such a real place. It comes from, you know, Maggie being Korean Canadian and really having walked this line of culture and having to blend those things, and you as a viewer you feel and you can relate to that. And I think that yes, it's in the language of Korean culture, but I think ultimately that is just such a human thing. Like we've all felt that feeling of, you know, which parts of myself am I proud of, which parts of myself am I not proud of. And I think just that very human story is what is connecting everyone in this film. And I, as someone who hid my stinky kimbap, you know, in 2nd grade, and like I remember taking a Barbie lunchbox, but inside was stinky kimbap. So like, just, and then that's why I cried too when I saw animated kimbap in this film, like within the first 10 minutes of this film, because I was like, wow, like that's something I used to as a kid. Remember feeling like Nick Smith and whoever else thought was so gross, and now it's like this beautiful, animated, juicy looking kimbap on this, at this point, world-renowned and just honestly classic, iconic film. So
Do not let me catch Nick Smith on the street.
I protected the real person's identity with Nick Smith. That's a pseudo.
But let's be clear, Nick Smith, you know who you are.
You know who you are. You probably like kimbap now. You probably go to KPOP
I
every
bet
weekend.
you do.
We watch K-pop music like 50 times.
Is Nick our soda pop? TBD. EJAE, Michael covering from Fullerton wants to know, since K-pop is such a visual and a sonic experience, how did stepping into animation change your approach to writing the lyrics and infusing storytelling elements into it?
Oh, I think like it's definitely a different approach because like, you know, you have to follow the story a lot and you have to understand the characters and what they're going through each scene. And honestly, thankfully, you know, the directors and also Eli and Drath, like they gave us a great guideline of what we should be writing about. That helped a lot. And also with my co-writer Mark, you know, I come from a K-pop world, so I'm all about what's a great melody, what's a catchy hook, you know, what's a good concept. That's always what I'm thinking about. Like, even with Golden, I need a title that's like, it just sticks, you know, Golden sticks, you know. So like, that's what I'm focusing on, and Mark is focusing on the storyline. So it was a lot of us going back and forth, policing each other. And like, I love musicals, by the way, but in pop form, it can get a little different. Like, you know, sound is a little not, you know, there. So like, I'd be like, Mark, let's not use that word. Like, oh, it's too wordy.
Do you mean like not grounded or?
Like, because sometimes musicals, you could, because you're saying a lot of things, it could get wordy sometimes.
Oh, right.
So you say like, and sometimes you emphasize a word differently, like comfortable, like you know
Sure.
those things. Like as a pop writer, we try to avoid that. We like to think things rhyming really well and like it sounds sonically sounding well. So he would like, you know, if I say like, oh, that sounds weird, and then Mark would tell me, that's off the storyline. I know that's a really cool line, EJ, but let's get back to the story. So that was a lot of back and forth. It was really, really challenging. And I remember Mark and I were like, this is so hard. And we're like, but if we pull this off, we're freaking geniuses. And we pulled it off. Yay! Yeah, so, yeah, that was kind of like the process.
And then all of a sudden you got golden fillings in your mouth and you were like,
Yeah.
I know. Maria, are you here today?
Yeah, I am here.
Go ahead and give Maria the microphone. This is a question
Yes.
for Maggie.
Yes, Maggie, hi. I would like to ask you, being the engine of this movie, what are the key elements from a women perspective that you want to tell about women and to receive for the new generation and the old generation, because it seems that people who are adults behave like 6 years old with your sons.
You know, I think for me the most important thing is I wanted to see really silly women. You know, I think we're so afraid, especially in animation, to show female characters be really silly and be the silliest one in the room. And I've personally experienced that working on films where, you know, we have a troupe of, I don't know, 5, 6 main characters, and one happens to be, you know, the one girl character. And we always struggle. We have these like hours-long meetings about how do we make this one female character unique. And there was a time when I suggested, well, why don't we take the funniest character and give it to the girl and make her the funniest, and it'd be like, let's not do that. And I was really frustrated by that, and so when it came to time to make this movie, I was like, well, let's make all of them silly. And I just wanted to see just this kind of women, and I think I really think there's empowerment and like strength in comedy. It takes a ton of courage to be funny, to pitch jokes, to be silly in front of somebody. And if you find a group of people that embrace you and your weirdest side, and they are just as weird with you, that is like the best type of friendship. And I really wanted to showcase that type of female relationship, because that's what I have with my friends. And you obviously can see that the 3 of them have it. And
Very silly.
and there's like truth and honesty in that as well. And so it's always something I wanted to see. And so that, yeah, I hope that young girls, especially that are watching this, can learn that there's strength in that, and that is true girl power. So I hope to see a lot of weird, silly girls.
Yes.
Yeah, just growing up and you know, sharing that weirdness with each other and with the rest of the world.
Thank you.
So we are nearly at the end, which makes my heart very sad, but there's a couple more questions that I want to ask before we all go. Thank you so much for all these wonderful questions, both from you in the room and out there watching our live stream. This question I can't attribute to a person, but I think it's brilliant. Very quickly, what Netflix show do you think Huntrix is binging on Netflix? That's so funny. Right? Yeah.
Love is blind.
Say again?
Love is blind.
Brilliant. What season, what country? Just kidding.
Wait, I can't. If you get me started, I will not stop.
Okay, sidebar
Also,
afterward.
the Queer Love edition, the Queer Love is blind.
Yes.
No, Ultimatum. Ultimatum.
Oh, girl. Okay, don't get me
The
started.
queer one, first season, that is the messiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
You have to You have to really carb load before watching that.
No, during and after.
And after, all the...
You need
all
to
the-
recover after seeing that.
Yeah, we were saying yesterday that they probably all, I would imagine they spend their Netflix time separately because they spend so much time together.
Yeah.
We all have different like Netflix tastes, and I was saying Mira is probably a Bong Joon-ho fan. She probably likes all the dark Korean cinema, like Park Chan-wook, that kind of stuff. And then I also think she probably likes Bob Ross. Yeah.
That's so perfect. What do you think Ruby would watch?
No, it's just...
I said
Rom-coms.
rom-com, but I also said like seriously, like that's like
Maybe some
has like
sweet
a
song.
message to it or something.
Like
or
a coming of age or like character.
Eternal
like
Sunshine.
hero movie.
Like Whiplash or like.
Also something like The Wrong Paris, you know what I mean? Like you can get behind a rom-com kind of.
Like a drama.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, like some sort of movie where like a dog is lost and is trying to come back home.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, like
Yeah,
something
yeah.
kind of sweet but like heartwarming.
Baking
Heartwarming,
shows.
like, something heartwarming. And he's like, you did it! You made it home! Like she's...
I think it's actually quite a scoop that potentially Huntrix each has their own Netflix accounts separate from one another.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Let's write that up, press, everybody.
Canon.
And as we get out of here, who felt the Han moon getting that much stronger right now? Right? Everybody? Mario, you have a great question covering Mexico that I think we should go out on. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Come on,
Thank
go ahead and
you.
stand up. And this one I think everybody can make a comment on as we go out today.
Yes, thank you for that. Well, do you think that, thank you. Do you think like art is a superpower that can save the world today?
Yes.
Yes, I agree. I remember I was at the end of recording What It Sounds Like. During the recording sessions, I got to see the actual scene and the full, like I got to hear the full song with both their parts lined. It wasn't mixed or anything, but it was beautiful, and I was crying. And at the end of the scene, it was Zoom, and Ian was in New York, I was in LA, and I looked at Ian and Josh, and I was like, guys, we're gonna change the world. And then I went home and I thought about that comment and I beat myself up and I was so pissed. I was like, you're so cringy. Ew, gross. Why would you say that? And I'm so glad I said it. Now looking back, because I feel like it did. I feel like it saved a lot of lives, including mine. So, music, Homeland Seal forever. There's no such a voice in this house.
I think it's a really great question, and you know, we talked so much making the movie about inner demons, essentially, and acceptance. And we all have inner demons. We all have parts of ourselves that can be really destructive. They can screw up the way that we live and the way we treat other people. And they can win, right? They can prevail, or they cannot. And the movie's so much about the way that we handle those, the way we face them, which if we face them together, we have a chance. And if we don't, then they're gonna win. And I think that, as much as that seems like a high fantasy concept, it's very much about who we are and how we survive, so. I like to recreate the bath scene at the end as much as possible.
It's kind of crazy because this is the first time that EJ and I have seen each other since the movie came out. And yeah.
Please.
I think EJ joined before Chris did. Right? I think so. No, it was around the same time. But I knew about EJ very early, and she joined very. She's one of the OG members of my crew. And so, yeah, and so she's really the kind of, really the heart and soul of the movie because it's so much of her soul in the songs. So we're just having a moment.
No! We will be passing around Kleenex to everyone today. Go ahead, Audrey.
About art saving the world. Right?
Yeah.
We live in a pretty messed up world, I would say, and I do think I personally am a believer of this delusion that yes, art can in many ways save the world because I think it connects us. And I think you see with this movie just the pure joy. You meet a stranger who has watched this film and you feel this immediate connection of understanding of just like, what is this weird experience of life living in this simulation? And I think that's like a miracle that really art is like the only portal, like the only doorway to get there. Just seeing as someone who is completely different from you and understanding that they're, like you look into their eyes and they're a human being and we're all kind of in this weird ride together. So I'm grateful for all of the art that has inspired me, particularly in this moment, this film that has inspired me in so many ways as an artist, as a human being, in the sorority that I found with these amazing women, and just like being a part of a team, being in service of something bigger than myself. All these ways that this film, being a part of it and being able to watch people receive it also has made me become more human. So absolutely. Long answer for a very powerful question, so thank you for that question.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you everybody for being here today, for watching, and for giving us these great vibes that will carry forth both today and just into the world in general. This is exactly what we all need right now. So please give a very warm thank you to our guests. We have Rei